Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to today's Read Aloud. I'm going to be reading with you some poetry. Before we get started, let's remember a couple of things about poetry that are important. One, I can notice how poets use imagery to help you see, hear, and feel things. Your other goal is I can understand line breaks and white spaces. So just a quick reminder, the words that poet uses to help the reader see, hear, and feel things create a mental image. So we use our senses in order to help us create an image in our mind. And then line breaks are a certain way the words are put together, and that tells you when to pause slightly. It makes the poem sound a specific way. Whereas white spaces separates the different parts of the poem so you know to pause longer. Today, our story is called Lizards, Frogs, and Polliwogs, Poems and Paintings by Douglas Florian, creator of Encyclopedia. That book should sound familiar, friends. The Skink. Along the ground I'm found, I slink. Through the grass I pass, I am a skink. I bite my tail and it releases. I don't fight back, I fall to pieces. So I was trying to use this imagery in my head to see what the author was trying to get me to understand. But boys and girls, I'm not going to lie, I didn't know what this animal was. So I had to look it up. And when I looked it up, that helped me understand. And then this was the image in the picture. Well, boys and girls, in my research, I found out a skink does in fact do this. They can amputate themselves, meaning they can cut off parts of their tails and their feet and their hands. So if we look back in this poem, the author is trying to get you to use your imagery to imagine this skink doing so. Imagine it bites its tail and it releases. It won't fall back. I will fall to pieces. And this is where the line breaks comes in. You know to pause in between here, and it's falling apart just like the animal. So I want you to use that same imagery to think about what the author wants you thinking about while you read this poem. The gecko. The gecko's trick is climbing walls. Like glue, it sticks and rarely falls. Across the ceiling it may roam, but don't you try this in your home. So it wants you, the lines and spaces want you to kind of use that along with its imagery to imagine you're a gecko and imagine you're a gecko climbing up on the walls, across the ceiling. But don't try this in your own home because you could fall. So I really liked how the lines worked along with the poem on this one. The Komodo dragon. I am Komodo. I am gruesome and gray, the most massive lizard that's living today. Birds and boars, for me, are a meal, plus all those who don't think that dragons are real. The python. So I want you to try to use some imagery in your head, thinking about how the lines and spaces help you before I show you the image. With 30 feet to squeeze your prey, python, you take my breath away. So the lines are helping us understand that the python is starting to coil, which means it's starting to curl and curl and curl on its prey until the prey's breath is taken away. And if you look at the picture, it's a bunch of tiny ghosts who had all their breaths taken away. The diamondback, rattlesnake. Fork in front, rattle behind. The lump in the middle, don't pay any mind. Scales up high, scales down low. The lump in the middle, you don't want to know. Diamonds above, diamonds below. The lump in the middle, a rabbit. too slow. So if we look here at this image, if this is the front of the snake and this is the back, those awfully look like rabbit ears, don't they, friends? And I thought the spacing really helped me understand how quickly to read this poem and how to, and then when to pause. Really built up dramatic effect to when you realized that those two lumps were the rabbit. The Polliwogs. We pollywoggle, we pollywiggle. We shake in lakes, make wakes, and wriggle. We quiver, we shiver, we jiggle, we jog. We're yearning to turn ourselves into frogs. For this one, the lines and spaces, they move constantly because pollywogs are otherwise known like as minnows, and those are what happens before things become a fish. Well, pollywogs are what happens before you become a frog. So they're wiggling and jiggling until they finally grow big enough to become a frog. The midwife toad. On Dad's back, the eggs are toted. To his kids, he's totally devoted. The newt. Orange nose, orange toes, orange chin, orange shin, orange tail, orange newt, orange you cute, in your bright orange suit. I thought this one did an excellent job with its imagery, and it really helped me imagine what a newt would really look like, being short and to the point with its lines and spaces. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed our read aloud for today. I definitely did. And I hope you've been enjoying poetry this week like the rest of us, and we'll see you later.